What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Snacks and Strats. And today, we're gonna be talking about Berserkers. Finally, we get to one of my favorite classes in the game. I mean, Terror Knights were my favorite class as well, but this one too. Before we get started though, I want to thank everyone who has been contributing so far. The engagement has been crazy, lots of comments on the videos. I'm glad the new format is working for you guys. And I want to encourage you guys to drop by on the Discord in the description below. Right now it's a little bit active. We got a couple new members, so yeah, come through, check it out. And yeah, let's get right into it, y'all. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Drop a sub, drop a like if you find this informative, if you think it's helping you level up your strategic gameplay. Alright, yo, without further ado, let's get right into the nitty-gritty of it. Berserkers are the frying pan that you throw buttery units in to melt them away as you make a glorious grilled cheese called victory. In all seriousness though, Berserkers are the units you go to when you need to delete problematic units like beasts, if your army's lacking a dragoon, enemy leaders, or high priority targets. What makes them so terrific though? Wow, that doesn't even say terrific, that says terrifying, and I'ma leave that. What makes them so terrifying though? Let's find out, y'all. Berserkers have options to completely decimate the opposition. It depends entirely on what you need to get done. So for starters, they got a skill called Berserk, which is a skill that expands their next attack from just the space in front of them to 3 spaces across, and their sides as well. The only area that it doesn't hit is behind them, and this is great for spreading mass breach, mass poison, or simply opening up a couple of targets. It's important to note that if you are dual wielding, only the space in front of the Berserker is going to get a second hit. Next, we have Last Resort, which is going to raise the unit's strength until their next melee attack at the cost of a little HP, y'all. Un poquito. This is gonna allow you to hit harder than you normally would during situations where the extra oomph is needed, especially when you can't afford to retreat, because refusing to kill the target will mean they get healed up immediately. So I had this happen to me in one of my Let's Play videos. I think I was fighting Zabos in one of the castle battles, and it was to a point where he was within range of dying, and I had to abuse Chariot because no matter what I did, the very next turn a white mage was gonna heal white mage, what is this, Final Fantasy Tactics, a cleric was gonna heal him, and then I would have lost the battle. I was already down like 3 units, like it was some insane scenario. So I cheesed the Chariot until I was able to silence the cleric, and then I was able to finish him off. I don't know if I used a Berserker to finish him off, but that's the kind of situation where you're like, yeah, man, last resort is really a last resort, you feel me? And then the last skill is gonna be Blood Price, and it's absolutely insane. They sacrifice half of their current HP in order to gain that much TP. So you can always Blood Price turn 1 and have your white mage heal them back up, or use a support unit to lob over a Menleaf. This allows them to spam finishers or continuously abuse their skills, which means more often than not, you're going to be using Last Resort to continuously increase your damage, or you'll be prepared with a finisher. Some notable skills are going to be Overpower. Just like for the Terror Knight, you're going to want to make sure you have as many checks as possible against parry and evasion, because you're going to want to make these hits count. They're important. Another skill is going to be Max TP. So you want to generate as much TP as possible. You're going to be using Blood Price. Why not? Makes sense. And it's also going to help for your damage scaling finishers, which we're gonna get into in another video, but basically the more TP you have for those, the more damage you're gonna be doing. Another skill I like is Reflect Magic, because they're so vulnerable on the magic side of things, but they're always gonna be targeted by wizards. You get a little bit careless with your positioning. So Reflect Magic, boom, reflect a little 20% back at them. It's cool. And then for wards, I have Stop and Charm. Like I said, with Terror Knights, Charm is dangerous, and in this video, I didn't have Charm Ward on my Terror Knight because I was testing something else out earlier, and he got charmed. Luckily, my knight was there. You're gonna see it if you haven't seen it already up here, but you're gonna see it. It was all fine and dandy, but I was scared, y'all. And then stop, of course, is gonna be removing the possibility of getting bound, shackled, or
Leaden.
No, it's not leaden. I messed that up. I'm a fraud. So basically what I'm trying to say with that is you want your Berserker to be able to get to where they need to go every single time. Outfitting your Berserker is like having 5 winning lotto tickets. I don't think you can go wrong anyway. They have access to fists, and they also have the 1-hand and 2-hand variants of swords, axes, and hammers. Shout out to Coffee for popularizing one of my favorite builds, which is the T-Rex build, as he calls it. It involves a fist in the main hand to give you the avoidance boost and the chance for poison, and a breach axe in the offhand. So, what does that mean? Once you swing with that double attack. Oh, speaking of which, double attack. I'll probably edit this earlier into the video. Double attack is the last notable skill I want to add because it's going to be beneficial for you in order to dual wield if that's your fancy. So yeah, it's going to be a requirement. So what does that mean? That you're going to be hitting somebody and giving them poison and breached in one go, and that's beyond satisfying. My personal favorite is just a double breach axe. I don't know, that's just what I default to every time. But you can also go for the 2-hander swords, which deal massive damage, 2-hander hammers, and 2-hander axes, which also deal massive damage. Their finishers are super good. Axes have a damage scaling finisher, so do 2-handed swords, and those are the first finishers they get. So early on, it's gonna do you justice. In terms of defense, you're gonna want light armor, gauntlets for a strength or dex boost, helmets for either parrying or magic resistance, and your choice of ring, either strength, dex, or avoid. Those 3 work best to their strengths. And keep in mind that fists do scale with dexterity and not strength. So just keep that in mind when you're making your killing machine over here. In terms of synergy, Berserkers are going to be synergizing well with debuff wizards and warlocks who are able to weaken enemies with statuses. So things like inflicting weaken and breached, inflicting slow, leaden, stun, things like that to make sure that your Berserker has a little bit more survivability. They also synergize well with knights who hold the front line and prevent them from getting jumped. Terror Knights who inflict fear and breach, which makes it so that you just delete people literally. DPS wizards as well, and as well as some of the advanced classes too, because when they cast, they shave huge chunks of damage off of a beast or a unit, and that makes it so that they don't generate TP, and that way you can come in with your Berserker and just get the clean kill, versus if they didn't have that huge chunk of HP shaved off, you'd be dealing a huge chunk of damage but generating a whole bunch of TP for that counter hit next turn. So that's why I say wizards. Yeah, I think that's it. Y'all. So final thoughts. Berserkers are fantastic units, but they require you to have a good sense of the battlefield and a good understanding of what the enemy composition is capable of. If you spot plenty of wizards up ahead, you might want to play it safe, play a little bit more defensively, or else you'll risk your Berserker losing a ton of health or being crippled by status. Be wary of sending them in too early as well. If they're left unprotected by friendly ramp or auras, they will get jumped, and while they don't have the worst defense, chances are they'll never be quite healthy enough to sustain repeated assaults through either interactions with counter hits on enemies, using blood price, or using last resort. Knights are going to be helping you with something like rally, giving you fortitude, and helping you recover some of that HP that you might have spent on last resort. So yeah, that's my thoughts for this video. Next time, is that the train again? Comment speed. Put speed in the comments below if you got to the end of the video, alright? Shoutouts to Keanu Reeves. Put speed in the comments down below. Give me a sub, give me a like if you thought it was entertaining. If this is helping you level up your Tactics Ogre gameplay, drop by in the Discord, say what's up. And who are we doing next? I think it's Dragoons next, y'all. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.